What is going on, everybody? It's Nothing But Skills, and today we're going to be talking about Summit, the new PvE game mode coming to Title Update 11. If you have Warlords of New York, the DLC, it's 100% free. Now, I did want to talk about this game mode a little bit because a lot of people have been having a lot of questions. I've seen the comments, and I'm prepared to answer a lot of those and give you guys what I think about this mode, what I think hopefully can be changed, or maybe they can make some improvements on this. So right off the bat, what most of you guys are probably hearing, if you guys watch my other video, I talk about this mode, and this mode reminds me a lot of like an underground resistance hybrid. Now it does have objectives for you to complete. I believe there's 7 different objectives, I want to say. You can randomly get when you guys are running through this. But I will tell you one thing that I noticed as I started to climb the tower. I started to climb those levels, right? Every level, it kept going up. I started to notice that I started to see a couple levels start to look, you know, the same. Like things were starting to be almost the same. And then of course, like the enemies start to come out, and you start to kind of see what doors they're coming out. So there was a little bit of repetitive gameplay going on that I noticed. One thing I did want to mention though is when you got to those main levels, which you're going to see in a second, those are the levels that give you that rally point. So your rally points are going to be, I think it's 11, 21, 20, 31, 41, stuff like that. So on all even levels, like we're going to see it in a second. So on floor 60, you run into a boss. Now that boss is part of a faction, right? So you might have Rikers, cleaners, but that is always totally random. So that level is 100% random. You're always gonna find a different boss, a different character. So what you might see on level 60 might be a totally random, and every time you do it, can be totally random. That's pretty cool. But I did start to notice a lot that, like, even though we were climbing this office building, right? We were going up this tower, the summit, a skyscraper, however you want to mention this, right? We were going up this high rise. Like a lot of the environment started to seem repetitive a little bit to me, and I'm pretty sure some people might have noticed that. But I kind of got like the same feeling out of Underground too. At the end of the day, like when you completed enough Undergrounds over and over and over, it started to be almost the same thing. Like you knew where the enemies were gonna spawn from, right? So, and you kind of knew where everything was gonna go. That's why I think, in my opinion, honestly, this reminds me a lot of Underground, right? And people who really love Underground, that's their mode, right? I was a fan of Underground, but it wasn't a mode that I was like, oh, this is the mode I really need. You guys know me, I'm a big survival fan. I've always liked that survival gameplay. When you start off with nothing, you work your way up. And I think that would have been kind of cool here, right? I would have thought, to me, it would have been a little bit cooler if, say, you started off with nothing, right, on the bottom floors. Because one thing I will tell you is, as you guys start to level up, right, as you guys start going up these floors, all the normal floors and all the hard floors, and even most of the challenging floors, you're going to be able to run through pretty quick. Like, it's not hard at all. All the normal floors are a cakewalk. You could probably do it just with a pistol. And then the hard floors, you could probably do it with barely any gear and still knock it out. Like, we were running with optimized builds, so obviously we're going to be running through it pretty quick. But still, like, the average person who gets on this game can probably run through those levels, right? So I feel like the lower level floors are going to be the floors that you more likely will always skip once you get into this game mode, because there's really no purpose for you. Now, if it was built around some kind of survival aspect, right, where on the bottom floors, right, when you first start off, you have to find your gear, right? You have to collect your gear, you have to collect your weapons, and then maybe when you got to those floors that did have like the stash and stuff like that, there would be a crafting table like you would have saw in Survival in Division 1, right? And then once you guys got to that crafting table, well, then you could craft gear and then make builds, right? And then you can work your way up. But I honestly know, and most of you guys will know too, is that once you got to those legendary floors, if you don't have optimized builds, it would be a pain. So I can see that aspect. That probably wouldn't work there. That's why some tweaks would have to be done to make it worth your while. I would like to see some type of mechanic, like something like survival, where you're like constantly under pressure, or maybe you're sick, or you're infected and you have to make your way up to go collect something, so you're fighting that time too, right? You can't just take your time to get to the top. That would have been kind of cool. Maybe a side game mode. But the thing about this game mode right here is I just feel like it does get a little repetitive, in my opinion. Is there replayability in it? Yes. Is it a fun game mode? I think it's fun, but I also think that you could probably get bored of it, and playing the first couple levels, the normal, the hard, those levels, you 100% are not going to at all. It's just not something that I really see you're gonna want to do, right? There's not really going to be, unless you're trying to do a time run from 1 to 100, but you just skip, right? You might just skip to the heroic levels where you're gonna get that loot that you really want, right? Because at the end of the day, this game mode is fun, but people are gonna want rewarding, right? It needs to be rewarding, right? That's key. And hopefully it can give you some unique items. Maybe there's like some unique clothing items that drop, maybe some appearance things. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, you want to be rewarded for your efforts. So once you get to those heroic levels, hopefully you're getting that really good gear. And we're actually gonna see in a second, I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, I'm gonna let you guys watch it. A really cool thing happened. Nothing too crazy, it's not a spoiler really, but you can actually see a really cool, right after level 60, and I'll let you guys enjoy that. We'll have that on here. But so it caught us off guard, and we were like, wow, this is actually really cool. And that's what can happen as you guys continue to climb these floors, right? As you continue to work your way up, anything can happen. And this is a heroic boss level right here. So 60 is, once we beat this, then we'll hit that rally point at 61. So we can always come back to 61 if we want to start there. If we have to take a break, if we die, or if we just want to get off for the day, right? So that's pretty cool. I do like they do have rally points on this. I don't know if that resets weekly, or if once you unlock the rally point, you never have to do normal hard challenging again, right? Like, it might not be something you want to do because maybe you're in it to have fun, have some replayability, but you also want good content. And that's kind of like with Underground too. We would grind it a lot. I think the most I played Underground is because they had the house, right? And it was RNG, and like, for some reason, for a little bit, if you farmed Underground, you had a really good chance of getting the house. I know I got it from there, for a couple of my friends got it from there, and that was in Division 1. So if they make some type of reward for going down there, right, then it's gonna be worth it. Now, one thing I will tell you though is I'm worried that a lot of people will play this, right? They'll get to a level 100, they'll get that blueprint for the new exotic, and then they might not even play the game mode anymore. That's why it needs to be rewarding, and then hopefully it's fun enough with the directives and stuff like that, it will be. So if you guys were looking for an underground type game mode, this is probably going to be a game mode you really enjoy. Now, I do want to say that the floors do seem a little bland, to be honest. I don't see anything really cool sometimes when you're going from floor to floor, or you're in the between of a floor, like you finish one section, you're going to another. It felt a little plain. Like, it honestly felt a little plain to me. And you're in this gameplay, you can even see it, like some of the levels, the designs as you're running from one point to another, it was a little plain. Like, it was kind of like the same thing you might have saw on the first 20 levels. We're on level 60. This is as far as I got. I got to, I want to say maybe like 65 or so. And a cool event's going to happen right here. So in between 60 going to 61, something really cool happened. And remember, this is really where you get your next rally point. Once you finish 60, you saw the boss come out. 61 is where we have the rally point. And then you're going to see what happens in just a second. But while we're waiting, I really still think, I heard you hopefully you guys heard that, right? Rogue agents detected. So you guys get it. It's about to happen. So you'll see in a second. But One thing I want to say though, like I really still think that this game really needs survival. Survival is probably one of the best replayability modes in all of Division. And maybe I'm biased because I really like it. And some of you guys really like Underground, so you're biased about that. So, I mean, I'm not really going to say, oh, one mode is way better than another. But I will tell you that I enjoy Survival a lot, and I feel like the replayability on Survival is really good. And that's how I can still go back to this date and play Division 1. Now, can I go back on Division 1 and play Underground? Yeah, but will I? No. It just doesn't do that replayability that I like. Now, if you put some really good loot in this tower, right, in the summit, okay, that's a different story. I'm probably going to be playing the summit a lot because it's a pretty fun game mode. If I'm going to play something to grind, hey, why not play some of this, right? So I think this game mode is good, right? I still think it needs some work though. I feel like the levels aren't completely designed, and yeah, you remember it's a work in progress build, so I would like to see how they incorporate making the levels a little bit more engaging, so you're like, wow, this is this looks good, or like, wow, this level is actually pretty cool. But I don't know if they still have time for that. Like, we really don't know. All I know is this game mode, a lot of you guys will like it, but a lot of you guys won't like it. It's just, it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Some people will enjoy it. If you enjoy Underground Resistance and there's good loot, you're probably gonna enjoy this. Now, if you don't enjoy those game modes, this game mode probably you'll play it once or twice and that will be it. So I can't wait to see what they end up doing with this game mode, what kind of tweaks they end up doing to it. I still, like I said, I need some survival in my life, and I know a lot of you guys need some survival in your life. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna wrap up this video here, guys. I do appreciate all the support. Let me know what your initial thoughts on the summit is. Let me know in the comments. If you watched the video to the very end, let me know in the comments what you think about Summit, right? What do you think about it? And do you think it's a mode that you want to dive into? I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll see you guys in the next Division 2 video. But until then, Nothing But Skills is out.